Hi everybody, Jerry here. I'm going to be doing a little porgy fishing with the PENN Beachmaster No. 155 saltwater conventional fishing reel. Great stuff. It's a bushing model with a bait clicker and all the modern features that you can want in a reel manufactured today. We're going to take a quick look at this reel inside and out, see what it can do while we're out here fishing for porgies. But a couple modern convenience. It has a modern variable star drag. Really good stuff. Works great with circle hooks. You can winch it down or keep it loose. I got it tight today. Got a free spool lever, and it's all brass, all chrome over brass fittings throughout the reel. I got it rigged up with braid today. Works great with mono. Amazing free spool mode, as you can see. Love this thing. 30 plus years old. And it's porgy time. So today we're using this here to do porgy fishing. But we're gonna look at some of the application real quick. But the PENN Beachmaster 155 is a great fishing reel, all on surf, pier, and boat. Yes, you can use this thing extensively on the surf. I prefer my squitter, but the PENN Beachmaster will do the job just as good. Anything from 200-pound shark to 3-pound porgies. It's going to do the job, surf, pier, and boat. So it's a very versatile reel. It's also a very rugged reel. It casts great, and today I'm using it up here on the bridge. A beautiful application of the reel. I got the star wenched down pretty tight. These guys ain't taking no drag. I ain't worried about the drag. Just want to winch them up. So it's the perfect fishing reel for the job. And we'll take a look later how I'm rigged up and a little bit about the fishing, but we'll talk about a bit about the reel as we go here. Like I said, what went through my mind when I brought this out was porgies. All right, I'm going to match them up with my PENN 155. Like I said, this reel, I probably received this when I was 12 years old, I believe. So it's done a lot of fishing through the years, and I was happy to get it out walking on this beautiful porgy bite. So kept a bunch of porgies, let a bunch go. Wasn't looking for a 30 fish minute limit, but as you can see, they're nice fish, and really enjoying the fishing today. So in a minute, we're going to go right back into the shop and take a look at the Beachmaster, maybe tear it apart and talk more about it. So let's go back to the shop. So now we're going to take a look at the PENN Beachmaster 155's construction. It's made with, the plates are made with Bakelite material, both the head and the tail plate. The head plate is considered your right side, the tail plate is considered your left side. Bakelite's extremely durable, elastic. It can take a big whack and still keep on ticking, and it's light. But also all the exterior metal components are all chrome over brass, making it completely seaworthy. You can completely submerge this reel and it will still keep on ticking. A very durable construction. But that's a quick talk about the external, what it's made of. I'd like to touch on the topic of spools, because I hear a lot of folks on the beach, when they buy these reels, they tend to buy ones with the brass chromed over spools. In this video, I'm using a Bakelite spool. I prefer the Bakelite spools over the chrome over brass. This one's aluminum, which isn't that bad, but it's still a bit heavy. But you don't want to use a chrome spool on the surf. That's why a lot of guys give up on these. The chrome spools are much heavier. They're not going to spin as fast, and when they spin, they keep on spinning. You want a light Bakelite spool like the one I'm using today. Well, it's perfect on the surf. It'll avoid those backlashes. You'll cast farther. It's just make sure if you like these conventional reels, the older style, you want to work with a Bakelite or a plastic spool. So I just wanted to touch on that quick. So, great free spool, and you know what? It's about porgy time. We're going to get a very brief history of the Beachmaster fishing reel. Hopefully we can get it in here while we're porgy fishing. But basically, the PENN Fishing Tackle Manufacturing Tackle Company was founded by Otto Hines, who worked for Ocean City. Ironically, Carl Newell spawned from the PENN, so a great lineage of fishing tackle engineers, all spawned out from Ocean City. But the Beachmaster number 155 conventional fishing reel debuted around 1939, known as the light tackle casting reel or something like that. Later on in 1941, it became known as a light tackle surf casting reel, and finally in the early 50s, sometimes 52, 53, 54, maybe 51, became known and manufactured and marketed as the Beachmaster. It's intended for surf fishing. That's its primary application, as these guys thought upon the reels. A lot of people don't use these reels like they used to anymore, except for a few guys out there. Sometimes I talk about bait reels, casting reels, conventional reels. I would consider this myself a casting reel. Lighter reels such as the Spools, I like to call them bait casting reels. So just some lingo that I made up myself. So you hear me talking about using a casting reel. Most of the times I'm considering a conventional reel, and a bait reel, a bait casting reel. I call them bait reels, but just some lingo that I made up. So I want to take a look at some of the tools you need. All you need is a Penn wrench. This is to do a deep internal cleaning, but actually all you really need to service this reel, clean it, whatnot, is an ordinary flathead screwdriver, WD-40 that I like to use to clean them out. Actually, I don't use that. I use a big spray bottle to do a quick cleaning on my Beachmaster. Oil it. I just use oil. You use any oil that you like best. I use what I like best, and I use that all throughout the reel with plain old oil. These are basically all the things that you need to service your reel for 30, 40, 50 years or a lifetime. Then I'm going to do a simple takedown. To clean out your reel, all you do is take off these here screws. There's 6 of them on each side. I like to take them off from the head plate, and your head plate on this reel is the right side. That's the plate that has your handle. We're not going to get into a big detailed construction on what's inside of this plate. I'm just showing you how to take apart your reel and clean it out each season. I'll do another video on that, on getting inside of these here plates. It's a whole another monster. But basically just remove all these here 6 screws from your Bakelite plate on your PENN 155 Beachmaster. And the next time we get out there on the Porgies, we're going to talk about some of the fishing we're doing. But right now, we're just going to get this here plate off any day now and take a look on what's inside of here. So that's how you just remove those screws. So you have your head plate, your spool, and of course you're going to have your frame with your tail plate on it. So let's get out there with the Porgies, and we'll be back in the shop. Okay, this is probably what everyone's been waiting for. We're going to talk about the fishing today. Of course, we got on some Porgies, and I'm going to talk about how I'm rigged up, what I'm using, and whatnot. We'll start with the rod. It's just a regular, I would say, boat rod. I like to call it a casting rod. It's about a 2 to 6 ounce rod, but I can get the ounces on that. As far as the weight, I am working with between 2 and 4 ounces. I believe I got 3 working, and I'm just 3-way rigged. We'll take a look at that rig in a minute. The line, I have braided line on. I believe it's about 50 pounds. I like a little thicker line for this kind of fishing. It's just durable. To that, I have Uniknot I usually start with 6 to 9 feet, probably 8 feet of 30-pound monofilament line. And on the bottom of that, I have my rig, and we'll take a look at that. It's a regular 3-way rig that I'm using, and I'm using a number 4 Gamakatsu bait hook today. So I think that's basically how I'm rigged up. I'm fishing on the bottom with bloodworms, cut into small pieces. So that's the confines of how we're set up today, and it seems to be doing the job. Real quick, I'm only using a single hook on the rig, which we're going to take a look at it. That is, of course, a kingfish there. They were mixed in. But what I like to do is I use between 6 to 8 inches, slightly shorter on the hook. And in the center there where they meet, I just do a quick surgeon's loop. I cut the loop and then I snell my hook on the end. Why? Because it's very, very quick and easy to retie. Rigging like this, I can go right up that mono till there's none left, probably till the end of the day, if I get caught on the bottom and whatnot. So that works great. It's a quick, fast, easy rig, and it's very fitting for the day. All right, we're gonna get right back in the shop and then back out in the field. Okay, now that we got it opened up, we're gonna take a look inside at the tail plate, but first, quick look. That's your spool gear over there. Of course, it's got the axle. And you can clean this all down while you got it apart. You can wipe it down, spray it with WD-40. Here's the inside of the tail plate left in this model. There is they do make a right-handed one, but of course you have your click gear, your click spring, I'm sorry. And I'm pointing, this is interesting, some of them, the old mid ones, you can remove and change that spring. It's not pressed in. Same thing with the clicker. This is actually pounded in, riveted, and you can get replacement ones if they do happen to wear down. But here's your clicker, one of my favorite features of this reel. I'm going to show you, this is the bushing. These are not technically bearings, but bushings. And amazing how the free spool is so great on these. I'm just taking it apart to show you. It is spring loaded, so there's a little bit of tension. And of course, while we got it apart, we'll just, I prefer to use the oil here, and just a couple drops, and that's it. These things are built like tanks, are ready to go. So now we're going to take a look at the head plate on this reel. It's on your right side. And basically you have your gears. It's got 4 bridge screws. That big piece there is the bridge, because it basically goes across the reel. That's why they call it a bridge. Where my thumb is here, this is your anti-reverse ratchet, is underneath here. This is what makes that click in your anti-reverse work. Here's your lever. That's your eccentric. Your jack is on top of there with the spring, your eccentric spring. You just have to, if you're going to clean this thing out, it's generally, you just rinse it off and whatnot. We'll talk about that in a minute, but we're going to get back to the porgy fishing. Okay. Well, the guys in the shop there. But we're going to look real briefly at the stats of these reels. Now, these are not, most of these are not exact. I don't work with exact figures myself personally, but they say you can get approximately 250 yards of 30-pound test, 30-pound mono. That's mono, back, in yesteryear, mono to make today's going to be thinner. You can get a lot more on there. It's more like 3,300 nowadays. It could be more or less. I go by feel and touch. I kind of like feelings out. Anyway, it got a 3-to-1 gear ratio. Comes in less than a pound at 14 ounces. And of course, you have a couple bushings. Now, the drag is interesting. If you get them stock, I would say they're good for about 6 to 8 pounds of drag. Of course, people winch them all the way down, and you certainly can do that to get more out of it, but you may be pushing some vulnerabilities in the reel when you do that. But, real quick here, back to the fishing. I want to show you quick. I like to feel a bite. I kind of like put my thumb and my index finger over the line just as such. You can feel the slightest twitch, especially with braided line. Now we're going to get back to the shop. All right, we're going to talk about cleaning up your Beachmaster quick. If I'm cleaning up quick and in season, like you see in here, I blast it down with some WD-40. I work it through, and this is good to do anywhere. That's why I like the WD-40. All you have to do is wipe it down. You'll see that black grit come out when you it takes those fine particulates out. You can also rinse down with soapy warm water to get a more thorough cleaning. Be sure to spray it down with WD-40 too afterwards. Let it dry. I'm showing you this little tube here just to make sure it's a water displacement, and it helps, you know, and whatnot. And after you're done doing that, dry it off. You want to do your left plate, your spool, and whatnot, and you're good to go. Now I'm going to talk briefly on oil in your reel. These come conveniently with some. They have oil ports, and these are okay, but I don't trust them 100%. Whether this thing is together or apart, if this was all together, I still will take off the spool adjuster and manually oil it rather than, you know, going through that spring-loaded oiler. I think you get a better coating. And I will do the same for this side. It does have that spring, but I'll take off this here spool bushing, and I will oil inside of it. Sometimes I get lazy, and to oil the crankshaft, you know, it's spring-loaded, and you just kind of like poking in there, and you put a couple drops of oil. I don't think that I just don't like these oilers. You can see here the oil is kind of spilled out and whatnot. So I take everything apart to give it a proper oiling, but something quick, yeah, you definitely can use them. But that's basically how I oil it, those bushings. Then if I have it apart, I like to get it inside to get that bushing. And you want to get your jack, you know, the two sides of your jack there, that kind of lifts up that yoke. And you want to get your eccentric, a couple drops around your main gear, your pinion gear. You want to get your yoke inside of the jack there, and just crank it through and whatnot. And that's all you have to do to oil the head plate side. And this thing will be good for another many weeks. Now, to get it all back together, we're ready to go. Just drop your spool in, just as such. And we're just going to finish up here. You want real quick, the way I care for my reel, does it work? I would say yes. This reel is 35 years old. So I got a lot of mileage out of it. I believe in this. I believe it still has the same drag washers. But basically, you just want to put your reel back together. And I just, you know, will work in these here screws. I'll put them in, you know, one side and the next. So I'll start one, say, at the 9 o'clock position, and then the next one I'll drop in the 3 o'clock position, and we'll fast forward here and just get all your screws in. I think this is the last screw because I fast forwarded it. Now, when all your screws are in it, you don't want to tighten them down all the way until you're done. Now you kind of just turn them down and tighten by hand. You don't want to overly crank them in. And one thing to also make mention is make sure that your spool adjuster on the other side is loose. If you have that turned all the way in, you might cause some problems in your reel because you're going to jam that spool. You might bend things and whatnot. That's what I'm talking about, the spool adjuster here. You want to make sure that that is out, not in, out, this way towards me. So make sure that is loose. So we're going to finish off some porgy fishing here. Okay, thanks for coming out here and fishing with the PENN Beachmaster 155. They do make 160, 165, I think, or 150, but it's the 155. Hope you enjoyed catching porgies with it. Great year for porgies, but it's a great all-around reel. We'll be using this if I haven't used, you know, on the surf. You use them on boats. You can use them on, like I did today, on bridges. It's just a misnomer. about what these reels can do. They can do it all. They're easy to maintain. They're durable. They'll last you a lifetime. They last the test of the time. This reel I'm using today is over 35 years old. So anyway, I'm gonna get going here. But again, hope you enjoyed fishing with me with the PENN Beachmaster 155 for Porgies. And thanks for watching. And please dislike, comment, love them all, whatever you have to say. Subscribe to the channel or not, I really don't care. And remember always, fish your way. And thanks again for watching. Have a great night, afternoon, evening, whatever it is. I gotta get home and cook these guys up. And I'll see you next time. Thanks again for watching.